offer hope in God to the young people as it seeks to disciple the nations in fulfilling the Great Commission. Consider partnering with Zoe TV, both in prayer, in monetary terms, and in kind. This is Chege Wawero. Welcome to Zoe TV, inspiring lives.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome this morning to Zoe Breakfast. Welcome to Live Conversation. This morning, you can see we are joined in by a guest. Kumbuka, kama uko na swali, any comment, feel free to write to us, and I know we'll be engaging you shortly. Karibuni sana, my brother.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me this morning.
Thank you for your time.
Such a pleasure, such a joy, such a joy to be here.
I think introduction is a good place to start. Maybe somebody who has not seen you before, or those that even know you. Maybe you can go ahead and tell us, who you are. What is it that you do?
It's interesting because even as I was coming, I was thinking how to introduce myself, and then I remember I love to say this: I am Opio's son. I am an uncle. I'm a brother. I'm a friend, and I love Jesus. I love God so very much. And people call me Mc Abel, but my name is Abel Opio. That's who I am.
Fantastic, fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow. Abel, I feel like you're being humble because you've done so many things out here. You are an author. I don't know why you're not saying you're an author. But we'll be getting there.
I'm trying to catch up with this title. I'm trying to really catch up with this new title.
So, Abel, you've been in the events industry for quite some time.
Yes.
The reason why actually we are here is because of, just discussing your book. But even before we go there, how did you land into that space? Because, young people tend to think you were born and you knew this is the way, this is everything, this is how I'm going to do life. But again, how was it for you? How did you even know you'd be an MC, a speaker, an author? My God!
Interestingly, as you're speaking, is we have like life journeys, and so mine started when I was in high school, and I did not know because now in high school you used to act. I cleared in 2005. So when we were done with high school is when I realized I could act and get on stage. After that, I was brought to stage by my second born bro. I mean, my big bro is our second born in the family, Enos. Brought me to stage in Alliance Francaise Mombasa and made me start doing it. And since then, I've never stopped. I'm turning 19 years on stage now, this year.
Yes.
Yep.
Wow.
I think December this year will be my 19th year on stage. Yes.
Well, how has the space been?
Interesting, interesting. I just like the conversation that we have been having before we went on air. And the same way, baptism by fire, as we call it. Somebody just picks you, puts you on stage, and then needs you to do what you need to do. And it's been ups and downs, lots of ups and downs. The biggest blow was in 2020 into Corona, COVID, which was a big blow. And it made us now rethink of how we work. And then we gave birth to the art of emceeing the book. There it is.
Fantastic. I think we just get right into the book, though I know there are some other things we've not talked about. You are a speaker, you do so many other things, but we'll be coming there. But the art of emceeing, why that topic and why this book this season?
It's, wow. Why we wrote this book is because I was having this conversation with my co-author, Dr. Fanike, who I happen to be the godfather to the very wonderful daughters that he has. We were having conversations and we were talking about what is it that we think the industry needs in the space that we are in as MCs. And then we realized that there is no formality or no structure to it and no order, most likely. And everybody comes into the space and we make our mistakes because no one taught us. We just learned from observation. And so we thought it wise to put something down, and it's a form of a legacy that we want to leave. Interestingly, the topic, rather the title, kept on changing over time. One day, if you ever invite me again, I'll just show you, or rather I'll share with you the whatever. It went on the mic, holding the mic, being on stage, how to MC, how to be an MC. It was a long thing. We thought of even YouTube titles of how to be an MC. And by God's grace, we landed on this out of, it was, I think, my nephew who did the cover, by the way.
Yes.
And so we had
That's
to,
an amazing one.
we had a conversation with him, and we kept on bantering.
Yeah.
And I saw the word, the art. I was like, it's an art, it's an expression. Yeah, so we decided to go with the art of emceeing. Yeah.
Yes. Wow, the art of emceeing.
Yeah.
A book for masters of ceremonies.
Yeah.
Well, I must admit that events is now a huge part of the industry in our country today.
Very, very huge.
And we need to understand how to run things. Well, I also love the cover. This is a mic,
Yeah, that's a mic. Yeah, that's a mic.
Wow, wow.
That took like, what, 9 months to just
9
come with
months.
Yeah, I did Canva, the open
Yes.
source on social, I mean on online,
Yes.
and then I started bantering with my nephew, my former housemate called Joe was also part of it. So I told him, hey Joe, what's up?
Yes.
Do you think of doing something about it? He gave me some samples.
Yes.
But my nephew had the heart of it because I was very strict with him. He's as a student in graphics, so he's the one who I really tortured to get this out.
Yes.
Like almost all designs he sent me, I was like, no, 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 no.
Yeah.
Until we landed on this one.
This
Thank
was
God
a
for this
good
one.
one.
Yeah.
This was a good one. Well, I would want us just to get right into the book. Maybe we can be able to, look at a few chapters.
Yeah.
Then we can always come back to the introduction. And,
Not a problem. Not a problem.
So chapter 1, types of MCs.
Yeah.
You want to say there are types of MCs?
Yeah.
And an MC cannot just do all events?
They can. They can. I've actually was having a conversation with one MC Yvonne, and I was telling her, I think I've done almost all forms and shapes of events. I've been on different stages from road shows to, birthday parties. I've done quite a number of them, like in all forms. And I think if we do not learn our fortes, then we end up messing the whole picture. Because what happens is, every time we have a conversation with a client, you hear them say, UMCs, UMCs love speaking, UMCs waste time, UMCs are not well mannered, UMCs. So it spoils the entire canvas of people who, like Akina Kamal, who are very professional, who can actually express themselves very well, and they know their art. And so we decided, why not decide and bring this structure? And that's why we're saying there need to be just pillars and offices, sort of, to speak, so that you can know you either you are a type. What is your type? Am I a moderator? Am I an event MC? Am I a wedding guy? Am I a fundraising? Am I a hype man? Yeah, and that's where we come in. So I think, and we believe that there are types of MCs.
Yes. Well, I see also talk about type of clients as well, and how to market yourself, how to charge. So maybe in a nutshell, you can be able to tell us what is the brief behind this chapter 1.
Chapter 1 is basically to give an introduction to the whole art of MCing. So we have to define it. I call it a bridge. You become a bridge between the event planner and the audience or the crowd that is there. You are the bridge. You're just the voice of the intention, and also you get to read the crowd. And my biggest platform has been in concert. And thank God we were allowed or favored by God to do Groove tours for 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
You need to tell us how that was. You need to share that experience. Groove for
10 years.
Groove was a big thing,
It was a
my
big
brother.
thing. It was a big thing.
You'd go through the country, man.
Yeah,
How was
exactly.
it?
That was fantastic. It was beautiful because even when we got a chance to go to Uganda, people still referred to us as the Groove team. And I think that was beautiful. Just being in Kenya and seeing them, seeing people turning out for Jesus, seeing people turning out for God agenda. And they wanted it in Uganda, and they wanted it in Rwanda, they wanted it in Tanzania, they wanted it in Zambia. And that's it. That's it. It allowed us to open doors even to the African, continent as a whole. So Groove was an amazing thing, which was my biggest platform, and it made me learn a lot of things about the event space. Because again, I was given a chance to work with the team behind it. I was employed there for 3 years, and I was trained very well in professional event management. So again, I'm saying it was a big thing. It was a big thing.
That was quite an experience.
Yeah. So the chapter 1 is all about introduction, to tell you how the definition of MCing and the types of MCs that are there, and then the type of clients that we have. And Fanike comes in very well to show people how to market themselves before we get to the meat of the MCing details.
Well, let's maybe just talk about marketing. How to market yourself, especially now where he's addressing how to put yourself out there. At times, do you feel like clients are shortchanged? Because MCs might put their best foot forward on social media, but kwa ground mambo ni tofauti.
Very true.
How do you deal with that as a client?
Very true, very true, very true. First thing first,
yes.
I want to just clear the airwaves that I'm on a personal journey to educate clients.
Yes.
Personal journey. And I did this by accident. We had an event and I had to go to pitch. And before we did the pitching, we were educating our clients on what we are bringing them for the event.
Yes.
So the next person who was coming in, the client was smarter now and he knew what they did not want. Of course, we did not end up sealing the deal, somebody else got it.
Yes.
But again, they remember us for teaching them what to expect. Anyway, so having said that again, I think, what do you say? Why do you say that they're shortchanged? I don't think they're shortchanged. Sometimes we are the ones who are shortchanged.
Yes.
And so I really encourage clients to attend events and learn who they want to use. If they can come in for events and see how the setup is done, they can as well come in and admire the art of the MC that is on stage and say if they can acquire him or her for their next gig. Otherwise, the best example I always use is weddings. And I keep on telling people this. Weddings and is not dancing only. It is not the mugidi we go around for. That's not wedding. The wedding starts from the church where the announcement is being made there. Then there is a photo session for the family. Then there's a reception that is held. Then there's an entrance which we call mugidi. Before the mugidi, there are people who are dining, and the MC is in charge of all this. There's the cake part. Sometimes the matron goes for long. There's the gifting. There's the prayer. And there's the order, and the chaos behind families' issues that the MC has to handle. So dancing for mugidi is not the only part of weddings. So that's why you're very right when you say sometimes they're shortchanged because what we put out on social media is the mugidi.
It's true, and they're excited. They see people dancing, and they're like, "This is a success."
I have a question for you. Have you ever played the shoe game in a wedding?
Yes, I have.
Is it necessary in a wedding?
I did it in an evening party, though. But I think I was just doing it to make sure that the event is lively.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but if you look at the essence of it all, it's very good for Rora shows, the traditional weddings that we have. Because we are asking the question, what are the games? Do you know your partner? But these guys are already married.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
I get you.
They are married. They are certified.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
The church and the family and the nation, or rather the country, has given them the certificate to go ahead in marriage. So why are we playing the shoe game? What do you want to know? They know each other. That's why they're there. That's just my argument. And that's why I'm telling you, I like the question that you're asking. Are the clients shortchanged? I think they are sometimes shortchanged. But it's because we think the wedding in our Kenyan context is just the mugidi.
Yes.
That's not it. It's quite big. It's a vast bag. Let's keep on.
Wow. Wow. So now the other thing, now that you've mentioned that, I think sometime last week I was just looking at the Nigerian events industry, and I realized these guys are big and huge. And there's an event we attended with you just the other day, and I felt the frustration when you were talking about brides on a budget. And you see, there's some of these things that have come, and we have embraced them as MCs, thinking that we are building our industry. But again, we are the ones who are also being affected. So why are you against, things like bride on a budget? Najua hapa nimerusha bomb, lakini why do you feel like the industry needs to take a particular direction if we want to grow?
I really love the guy behind it. I don't know who's the guy behind or the woman behind that page. I think he was catering, or she wanted to cater for people who did not have the money but had the intention to get married, which was a very good idea. One of my friends got a very good deal of making wedding card invites at a very cheap cost at that. I think that was a good intention. My problem is the sustainability for the people who are service providers. I have once owned a sound system. It was a pure DB technology. Quite expensive together with my friends. But if I'm working on a brides on a budget and I'm only 45,000 and there's a power surge and I lose like 2 or 3 speakers. So if Kamal is getting married next weekend, I have to service this thing so fast and quite fast enough so that Kamal gets a good service next weekend. And I have an MC who's come there, and I have a hype man, and I have a dancer. So the entire bouquet of people who are serving at this particular place, there are so many, and the cost is this little. So it's not sustainable because these guys have to work 5 times to make what some other people are making in one gig. All right? So for the intention of the person who started the page, it was very right. Remember? he or she wanted, somebody who really wants to do a wedding can get a particular service at an affordable. Cheap, not cheap. I think it was the word was affordable.
Affordable.
Yeah. Now the problem is everybody has gone and submerged themselves, or rather jumped into that side of the wedding side. And then you realize there's no growth. So we start becoming frustrated with the same art that we call, I'm so passionate, I love this thing, but you're frustrated financially. And you know, even the Bible says, money answereth all things, not some. All things. So you better find the question. So my question is at this particular time, what's this thing that we're trying to do by trying to squeeze the budgets that we can fit in? Sitting down with quite a number of people also have realized now we're doing it for the gram. We're doing it for social media. So I just want to beat you out so that I can do it for social media. So social media wise, I am thriving. In real life, where it really matters, I can't meet my bills, I can't meet anything, simply because I want to beat you in the next deal. Kamal is charging 45,000, I'm charging 25. So they just beat you out and post that, hey, it was a busy weekend.
It was a busy weekend.
But with weekend, if you're running a business, and you know if you're running a business, there's a cost implication.
True.
So let me ask you, I get 35,000. Just let's do the simple maths. Here we are 2 MCs. So I'm having 35,000, and I'm having, this is what I'm supplying. I'm supplying sound, I'm supplying DJ, I'm supplying MC, I'm supplying hype man, I'm supplying dancers. And I have like 4 or 5 dancers. Let's give 4. So I'm having 35,000. I needed transport to bring the guys there. I need a technical guy to pay. I needed the sound. Maybe I buy batteries, the dry cells for the microphones. That's a cost. Then I bring these guys there. That's
you
a
need
cost.
to dress up as an MC as well.
Thank you very much. That's a cost. I'm talking about the business aspect of it all. And then I have to pay this hype man, and then I have to pay the dancers. And these guys came there, spent the entire day. So you're giving them 3,000 per day? Not bad. But I'm saying how sustainable is it? Okay? Maybe they don't have a life, or rather they don't have bills that they're taking care of. But the work that they have done, and I'm not saying 3,000 is not money, I'm just trying to say that let's look at the business end of it. The costing of that business doesn't add up.
It doesn't add up.
Yeah.
Totally
doesn't add up. So that's one aspect of it all that I'm very keen with. And I'm just trying to say, I remember telling guys, please scale up. Every year you add more experience, more knowledge, scale up. Add some amount on your rate card, so that you start scaling up, right, like so, and you grow as a person, and you see where you have invested in terms of your experience, your knowledge, and when you dispensing it to the world, they see this guy has made some moves.
Wow. I have so many questions about the industry.
Let's keep on going.
Yes. Chapter 2.
Chapter 2.
Chapter 2, it's types of events.
Types of events.
Very critical for you as an MC to understand
very
different types of events, the logistics and the dynamics, and all that. So what's the brief like behind this particular?
The type of events right here in this book, we have just split them into 2: the social events and the corporate events.
Okay.
And I don't usually like terming and saying that this is where I end as a person. So if I call myself a corporate MC, that's just a name I've given myself. But is a wedding a corporate setting? But I can equally handle a wedding. I can equally just deliver in a wedding. One of my friends got a corporate gig from a wedding.
Oh, from a wedding, yes.
Like the people who attend this wedding are the people who run offices. They're the people who, the directors, the HR. They go for weddings. They have daughters who are getting married and relatives who are getting married. So they are split because the social one is more, it's a family thing. It's something very personal. That's where I come back to social. And then they border the corporate also, because in the corporate setting, they also do farewells, which is a personal thing. They also do internal birthdays during. It's more than just unveiling packages and new brands and you know, collaborations in the offices. So that's why we split it into 2. So if you go through the book, you'll realize we've just categorized that weddings, birthdays, dowry negotiations, baby showers. Those are quite personal, family-oriented kind of things. And then you go on the other side of product launches, seminars, NDA parties, handover farewells, product promotions, concerts, anniversary and pageants as a corporate entity. That's where we split them.
Wow. This is good, just to be able to know the different types of events.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how this industry is going. We are having very unique ideas coming on board.
Yeah.
You know, the baby showers and all those kind of stuff. So if I was to ask you, Abel, maybe what type of social events have you emceed before?
Oh yeah, I've done birthdays. I've done
Birthdays.
graduation parties. I have done. This year was going to be my first one to do a baby shower.
Yes.
I didn't get to do it. I was really wondering what I'm going to do
What are you
about
go-
it. Yeah, it's because they're very different
Yes.
cultures. And I've done quite a number of weddings. I'm kind of slowing down on that front, and
Yes,
and it's good that I'm saying it right now. I'm
Yes.
kind of slowing down on that front, on that space.
Yes.
I've done quite a number. I've done concerts, I've done anniversaries.
Yes.
Yeah, I've done quite a number of them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Most embarrassing, most interesting. Unajua hapo kwa
Most embarrassing is I've pulled a joke too long. I've done an activity until the crowd booed me.
Yes. Yes.
I
No,
don't-
these are challenges that happen, by the way, in events.
I've pulled the joke too long.
There's a what do we call it? There's a bad day in office, even in events.
Yeah, the bad day in office,
Yeah.
a corporate gig. I had something called a delay. You ever heard of a delay?
A delay.
Mic.
Oh,
on the
yes,
mic.
yes.
I had a bad day that day. I was supposed to host. I remember it was a Huma Sekela gig, the late Huma Sekela from South Africa.
Wow.
The jazz.
That's a
Safaricom
big
jazz,
event.
Safaricom Jazz
Yes.
Festival. So I was the pre-MC before Kavuta comes on stage. So I was allowed to go to the holding area.
Yes.
They're this fantastic, jazz guys with all this swag.
Yes.
So this fantastic place where you come in and you have cocktails and
Yes.
people are speaking from there. And I had a microphone which was wired to the concert stage.
Yes.
So there was a literal delay.
Yes.
Like I speak and then the words get there later and they get back to my ear. So say, ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. This is when it gets back. So I had to wait. So people got really annoyed because they say, how is this guy speaking this slow? They did not know what I'm facing. Because some of them were getting the real time. Yeah,
Yes.
it was a bad day. It was a very bad day for me.
And did they fix it or the whole event?
Dude, there was no fixing because we had a really small time lapse.
Yes.
Like it was a very small gap. We come from this event to the next one.
Yes.
And so everybody was coming, complaining, why does this MC sound like this? It sounds so boring. Why is he so lethargic? Why is he so slow? And it was a lash on me. I was
Yes.
like, but guys, you don't get it. There is
Yes.
a delay, literal delay. So the technical guy understood what I was talking about.
Yes.
The rest of the guys are like, why are you talking like this?
Why are you talking like this?
Because that talks in a slow pace. And so now they move me next to the stage.
Yes.
My psyche is worn out. They move me next to the stage. I'm told I can't go on stage. I'm told, Abel, you can't go on stage. Remember this time I'm giving out credit for what? 10,000 because they had a target audience for the jazz. They are these postpaid guys. So I'm giving out credit for 10,000.
Yes.
I'm giving the S20s, those
Yes.
phones, those expensive gadgets.
Yes.
And so I'm told I can't go on stage. I have to do my activation down there.
Yes.
Like down just before the stage. Which, by God's grace, it took a little different turn, but I already made the mess of myself. So I had to save face. Yeah, but that's one experience that technical
That is
hiccup.
quite an experience.
It was bad. It was it was very bad. I don't think if anyone remembers me for that event, I don't think if anyone remembers me for that
And
event.
the problem is, as an MC,
Yeah.
you always don't have like a second chance to prove yourself.
Yeah.
The
only
first
God.
impression, everybody thinks that's it. This is the guy. After when the sound guy is blunder,
Yeah.
the blame is on you.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
So guys did not see the technical guy. They were
They're
seeing
just
you.
seeing you. If you go to a wedding, they think you are the coordinator, event planner,
Yes,
and
yes.
supplier of everything.
Yes.
MC Choi iko wapi? MC tunakula saa ngapi? MC nani anaomba? MC mama ya bride ako wapi? You're
Yes.
like, guys, wait a minute.
Yes.
Wait a minute. I didn't bring them. I was
Yes.
brought just
I
the
was
way
just-
you are.
yes.
I'm just being paid for this. But you see,
Yes.
professionalism demands that you don't run away from that job. You take, and I'm telling you, that's why I'm telling you, a wedding is not only, okay. A wedding is not only Mogidi. There's a lot that goes on around. Yeah. So I feel you when you say it's hectic.
Yes. Wow. Now, the other thing maybe just before we go to the next chapter.
Yeah.
How do you get these high-end corporate events? And how do you conduct yourself as an MC? Because I'm imagining like the jazz event.
Yeah.
That's not an event where you're just everywhere.
Yeah.
There's a way you need to carry yourself.
Yeah.
There's a way you show up. There's a way. Hizo ndio zinakwanga mpaka na sound check, rehearsals, eh?
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you do all that?
For me, it's been a journey. Again, time and chance happens to everyone.
Yes.
So most of the ways I've gotten to the corporate space is through referrals, which has been the biggest way.
Yes.
Because some of these corporates are very much interested, or rather very careful with what they're sharing about their staff. Some of them, you sign a contract or you actually pre-warn that you'll never share content from this event. You cannot.
You cannot.
You cannot.
Not even a photo.
Yeah. I mean, if you take a photo, it's okay, but alone. So the photographer is intentionally positioned to take a photo of you on your own.
Yes.
So even when you want to say, I was at this event, Kamal and Sons Advocates, you can't show, because you can't show their sign, you can't show anything. They just take a photo, and all you have to say, it was a good day at Kamal's and Advocates.
Yes.
Yeah. Because it's not, they don't want you to share that. They don't share that. It's an office policy.
Yes.
So one thing I thank God is I've had referrals, wonderful referrals from friends and people who I've worked with before. So they've seen me in action and they say, Abel did this for us, he can do this for you. And it's interesting that people who are in the PR space, they know each other.
Yes.
They really know each other. So they'll say, I want Kamal. And you guys, you need to use Kamal. He's fantastic at what he does.
Yes.
So mine has been on the forefront of referrals. I have to also confess that adapting to social media has been one of my very not strong fortes. So I'm really trying to build a muscle towards that. Before social media puts you also out there for people who can buy from social media, will buy from social media. About the conduct thing, it's a process again. I have surround myself with people who read more than me. So they always pump me with the latest information. And also they push me to read a little bit, because in most corporate events, what they want you to do is address them in English. Yeah. Recently, I think that was last year, I was chanced to rehearse my 50% French in an event which was a virtual event. It was my first virtual event. I've never done a virtual event because you're not having people, you have to talk straight to a camera like this, and you engage them and you have to look at a monitor if they're participating. And so it was, and sort of, I can call international because it was Kenya, Uganda, and part of the Francophones, the French-speaking ones. And so I got a chance to say, I can speak French, so let me speak to them in French. And the review was amazing because now the French-speaking guys, for the first time, they had a French-speaking host, and they had to enjoy the event. So I thank God for that opportunity. And do you know who was my referral?
Who was your referral?
Robert Burale. Thank you very much.
We salute you, sir. That's a great gentleman right there. Wow. So even maybe before you go to the next chapter, so even learning, a new language is an added advantage.
It's an added advantage. It's an added advantage. I keep on telling people for free this, and I think I said it at Skill Up. If you don't like reading, because reading also needs dedication, I'll advise anyone to just pick, if you're in the event space and you're an MC, pick the newspaper daily. There's one which is free. It's called People's Daily.
People's Daily.
Pick it when you're in a matatu. Pick that. Read it on your way to town or to your destination. One thing, it will improve your speaking or your language. You'll not have the ahs and the ums and the ninis and the kaninis just in the middle of your speech. And also it will keep you informed. So the moment you have a conversation, you're informed and your language is sharpened. You read both of them. I remember Gatone, the protocol guy from the State House, he kept on telling guys at the space that he still keeps on reading Walawaridi, so that he can sharpen his Swahili. And I think that is a very good thing. You just think of yourself as a knife, you keep on meeting the whetstone. Keep on doing it so that you can be sharper. And it doesn't matter how long it will take. One time, when that skill will be needed, you'll be ready for it.
And you'll be right there.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Chapter 3.
Yeah.
Preparing for an event.
Yay.
So there are things that you need to do when you're ready, you're booked for the event. There are ways that you need to prepare. Maybe what are some of the things that you can say, that are in this chapter?
Just a quick glossary onto it. You might need to really prepare in advance, like for the social places, getting enough information, where is the event, so that you don't get lost. You have to send me a pin for today, so that you have to really be keen with that. Get enough information, know your client. I think knowing the client is very good. You can check them out on social media if you can check them out on social media. What are their preferences? Have a conversation with them too, so that you know what is their cultural demeanor, like what they usually do. They have harsh aunties. Are they cultured people? How are you supposed to conduct yourself there? And if they need you to be thematic with the dressing, so that you can prepare. So information is good. And also, if you plan ahead for a destination event,
Yes.
like sometimes of these corporates, they want to move you to Diani. You have to plan ahead, know,
Yes.
are they taking care of my accommodation? If they do, which they usually do, you have to know where you're staying and maybe know how you'll move around from the airport to, and all those things. If you have to drive, like say if you have a gig in Nakuru, you have to drive, how many hours will you be on the road? Do you have to take time, plan ahead?
Yes.
And that's why how you prepare best for such events. You don't wake up and start
Yes.
bringing everybody into the noise.
Yes.
Yeah. So personally, I've put myself around with a team
Yes.
of people. It's a joke that up to date I get confused
Yes.
with the 24-hour clock system.
24-hour clock system.
That's 12, 12,
Yeah,
0,
12,
0,
13,
13, 0.
14 hours,
It mixes
16
me
hours.
up.
Yes.
So there's this particular day I'm in Kisumu. I'm in Kisumu, my hometown, taking care of my dad back
Yes.
then. And then I send my air ticket to my friend who's supposed to take me from home to the airport.
Yeah.
He's the one who told me, your flight is not 6 in the evening,
Yes.
it is 6 in the morning.
Wow.
All along I know it's 6 in the
in the
evening.
evening.
So because I did not plan well,
Oh my.
I had to go to an extra cost because I wanted to travel just by road, come
Yes.
from Kisumu, I mean Kindu Bay, my hometown, come
Yes.
to Nairobi, chill,
Yes.
get my ride to the airport, go
Yes.
to Mombasa. I had to go to an extra cost of paying, and you know those immediate flights, they're expensive, they are very high. So yeah, it was
Yes.
just hectic.
Yes.
And so there it was. So again, information is keen as you prepare, and you can also surround yourself with a team of people who
Yes.
hold you accountable.
Yes.
And it is very good because now if we are 3 of us who know the schedule for tomorrow,
Yes.
someone amongst us will not forget the schedule.
Yes.
Sometimes there's no power, so the phones can fail us.
Yeah. I think I love what you're talking about preparing for an event because personally, even in that space, I've been forced to cancel emergency events.
Yeah.
What I mean by emergency events is somebody will call me today and they want me to MC an event tomorrow. I wonder, all this time you guys didn't have an MC, and you find out maybe that event is not just even a wedding, it's maybe a corporate that has so much details. And you see, if you go there and miss out on anything, it will be on you.
It's true.
What's your take on those kind of events?
Now this experience is the one that teaches me.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll jump on them, and most of the time why we jump on them is because we are desperate.
Yes.
Desperate have been having a dry time, and this is what comes on the table.
Yes.
These guys look like they're really paying.
Yes.
But you have to be careful because sometimes it's a trick.
True.
It's a trick to corner you
Yes.
to agree. So somebody is bringing you into their pressure.
Yes.
So you have to be very careful with how decisions are made. If I'm standing in for you and you're my boy, and
Yes.
maybe let's say you travel or you fall sick, I'll definitely not make you look bad. I'll jump on it. It's not about the money, it's about our relationship at this
Yes.
time. Okay?
Yes.
But if it's about the money, then sometimes it also works for the MC because now they need you, they will
Yes.
cost, they'll pay what you need or what you demand because they need you now.
Yes.
But the other thing is usually the pressure. Now you make decisions on a pressure. Just give them out. Yes,
Control,
yes, come.
Come.
Yeah, it's a recent activity. I got it 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Somebody calls me and I was walking into a meeting. And he kept on pushing the idea that they're gonna be CSs. They're gonna be CSs. I'm like, that's your event.
That's your event.
Yes. It doesn't matter if they are there or if they're not there. I'll still be MC Abel. So I told him no. And he was calling me at 10. He needs me to come from my place, which is in Kabete, to Kitengela by 2 that day. 2.
Same day.
Same day. He calls me at 10. And this 10 is when he's realized that he's stuck in Eldoret.
So it's not even in Nairobi.
Yeah. And this is an impromptu call. So I looked at my friend who was driving me, who usually drives me around, and I told him, I'm not picking this gig. I was also not feeling well, of course, but I wasn't going to pick it because it was going to cost me to go. I had a meeting along Mombasa Road. I finished that meeting in a rush. Go back home, dress up, then go, and then you want to keep my payments and all. I mean, it was a lot of, and I couldn't put my head around it. So I had the courage to say no. I just tell him, no, I can't make it. Yeah, politely, so that I didn't mess him. Just say, guys, my G, I can't make it for this one. Pick someone else.
So you have to stand up for your values or something that you know. So the other thing, I've seen many MCs, especially now the MCs, I've seen MCs messed up by their colleagues. You know, just because Kamal went booked 2 events in one day. Then decided to call Abel to find out if he's free on that day, and gives him this job. Then we agree on how much I'm supposed to give him. Then I don't pay.
Yeah.
You know, so you end up frustrated. Our relationship,
is ruined.
Is ruined.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on that?
The idea
what
is,
should you do as a person to protect yourself?
This is my personal value is that we need to pay it forward.
Yes.
Not pay it backwards.
Pay
it forward. And this is to say, we need to be very intentional of getting rid of all the messes that were done with our forefathers or the ills that were done to us when we were starting.
Yes.
I've gone without being paid. I've been paid an iota of what was supposed to be paid.
Yes.
I've been duped out of my money. I've had delays which were intentional because somebody used the money for his own things.
Yeah.
I've had all these experiences.
Yes.
And what I've really tried and I'm really working hard on is to be able to be very true to myself and say, when I book an event, that's it.
Yes.
There's no other event I'm taking up.
Yes.
Okay? I'm not taking up any other event.
Yes.
I've tried jumbling those things.
Yes.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it fails. And it really goes down with in my reputation as the bad thing.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, yes,
and that's why they came for you. They did not come go for that person that you're bringing. Unless it's an emergency, then you can.
Yes.
But one thing I've realized is we have to pay it forward. My paying forward is to say, I might not pay you the industry amount.
Yes.
Like what you're supposed to be paid as a friend or rather as an MC.
Yes.
But I still need to make sure that you get paid. I still need to make sure that your 20, 15, 10, 5,000 comes back to you as agreed.
True.
Okay?
True.
So that you also pay it forward.
Yes.
Next time you'll know the need to pay somebody else.
Yes.
So that the industry is not full of bile. We have a pipe which is clogged with bile. Everybody's hurt. Everybody's in pain because somebody hurt them. And by mistake, we want to punish you.
Yes.
So if I preceded you in the industry and there were ills done to me, I want to teach you the hard way. There is no need for a hard way.
True.
We don't suffer. Our fathers suffered so that we have a better life. So we can make it better and easier and easier. And again, that's why we wrote the book, so that we can have some form of structure.
Yes.
So always remember, if you get yourself in such a position or situation, pay it forward and pay well. It's a seed we are planting.
Yes.
It's a seed we are planting.
Yes.
So if I make sure that Kamal gets paid,
Yes.
next time Kamal will know, hey, Abel had a delayed check, but he made sure I'm paid. So I must make sure that the guy that I'm hiring is paid. And that person knows, the industry actually has good people. I have to pay people.
Yes.
And you realize that the whole industry grows to be green. We have a green lash of people saying, yes, this thing works.
Yes.
This thing doesn't work. Because in one action,
Yes.
we can break somebody down to the ground and never make him rise again.
It's true.
Yeah.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning we're having a conversation with MC Abel. And, you know, he's an author. We're just going through his book, The Art of MCing. MC Abel and Dr. Ofweneke.
Yep.
So please, if you have any question, please feel free to write to us. We have numbers on your screen. Are you an MC? Do you desire to be in the event space? Anything that you want to know this morning, go ahead and write to us. And I know that we are going to engage you. Abel,
Yep.
chapter 4.
Chapter
Though we are
4.
not going to go through all the chapters so that you buy this book. We're just ni hints tu. Tunaguzia tu kidogo kidogo. Hapa pale, hapa kule.
Yeah.
So there's some things you're supposed to do before the event.
Yep.
That is chapter 4.
Just chapter 4.
Yes.
There are things you need to do, and we just in this book we've given 2. By the way, we are doing a review currently of the book. We are going to add more information, more meat.
Okay.
And so again, as I was saying before, chapter 4 is all about before wedding or before corporate. You call in advance, get a lot of information about where you're going to, what's the culture of that place. I remember one of these leading telcos in Kenya has a culture of calling each other with their first name.
Yes.
So if your full name is Kamal, I'm allowed to call you Ka or Kams. You get?
Hey.
You get?
Yes.
And that is them. Unfortunately,
Yes.
as me, as the MC who's being brought in, we are not familiar to each other. We are not that used to each other. I cannot take that privilege of calling you Ka. You are a senior in that office.
Yes.
I'll have to address you as the Director of Communications, Mr. Kamal. We are not friends. I don't know you.
True.
So you have to know all of these cultures
True.
in the corporate space. And if in this wedding side, you also have to know the culture of those people.
Yes.
People are modern nowadays, and there are people who are very affluent.
Yes.
You get the entire family is, of course, Kenyans, but they are bred and brought up in UK
Yes.
and name them, and Europe. So they have this sort of white thing in
Yes,
them,
yes.
and they have a white wedding being very white.
Yes.
Well, they be very proper when they want the champagne to be popped by the best man
Yes.
before a speech,
Yes.
not the other way around.
Yes.
Somebody just comes, shakes it, and with no speech.
Yeah.
You don't do it like that. Where the cake matron has to be very structured in a speech. Like she looks like she's giving a TED talk.
Yes.
Yet the other side, people are just coming in and making fun
Yes,
and
yes,
doing
yes,
all
yes.
this symbolism of keki imetengenezwa na sherry, you know.
Iko na sukari na chumvi na nini.
And they don't do that. And you have to really learn this. So there's a lot of information as you prepare for this event. Again, as I've told you, about traveling to these places
Yes.
that you're going to, about your accommodation, about the people that you're staying with.
Yes.
If this event involves a lot of liquid refreshments in terms of alcohol,
Yes.
you have to watch yourself if you're drinking. If you like drinking,
Yes,
you
yes,
don't
yes,
do
yes.
it at the event. And such kind of things. So preparation for this particular event is very key. It's
Yes.
super key. You have
Yes.
to really watch yourself and watch how you conduct yourself.
Yes.
And sometimes there are rivalries. You have gone to weddings, I believe, and
Yes,
you've seen
yes, yes,
there
yes,
are
yes.
issues. There
Serious issues.
are issues behind the scene that are not coming to the front.
Yeah.
I did a latest wedding. There had issues. There had issues from one family, not between the two
Yes,
families,
yes, yes, yes.
just an internal family issue, and they were very intentional in bringing it out. So by God's wisdom, I was able just to tell them, this is not the space.
Yes.
This that, and I use this word.
Yes.
It's a day for your daughter, and I'm smiling, and we're gonna mess it for her. There's no need for our in-laws to know. And then I involve myself in that. There's no need for our in-laws to know our issues. Yeah, you just go make your speech.
Yes.
Oh no, the lady. No, ma'am. I'm just telling you, there's no need to air our issues to our in-laws. You just go make your speech.
Yes.
You just bless your daughter. It's her
Yes.
day. It was a polite way of telling her,
Yes.
please, not here.
Cool down.
Cool down.
Yeah.
Of course, she went on stage, brought it up, brought in somebody else. But again, I had to jump in and say,
Yes.
just
Yes.
bless the girl.
Yeah.
Just bless our daughter. I had to jump and shout so that they bless and don't mess her day. And it went on well.
Yes.
But you see, those are things that you really have to prepare yourself for.
Yes.
And it really work with you
Yes.
because with time you learn these things.
Yes.
With time you get to learn. You get into these spaces. You get to fail.
True.
Yeah.
True.
As you say, there are bad days in the office.
There are bad days in the office.
And those are learning days in
And
the
they're
office.
learning days.
Yes.
Wow. I remember one day I hosted an event. You know, you've talked something about, introduction and getting to know who you're inviting. So in one of the speeches, it was a wedding. This gentleman was a doctor. Dr. something. Let's call him Dr. John maybe for now. But now, at that particular moment, I was inviting him. I didn't call him doctor. I just said, John, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for John Mwendwa, as he comes to be able to address us. So I called John. I'm looking at him. I'd briefed him before. So I'm calling him. I'm introducing him. I'm looking at him, but he's not coming. I'm even calling him the second time. He's not coming.
You missed the title.
I missed the title.
Yes, he's gone to school.
So I went to him and asked, I'm calling you to the stage. And he's like, you didn't say doctor. I don't know who John is.
Yes.
Yeah. So I had to go back and say, Dr. John.
Then he stood up. Yes, the ego has to
It was
be.
such a humbling moment.
I've done that. You're not only the one who has failed in
Yes,
it.
yes.
I've done that, and it was part of the clergy of the church. Yeah. I've done that. I've gone through exactly what you went through.
Yes.
I'm telling you, the lady did not move.
Yes.
And when she stood up, she said, I don't know the young man, who the young man was calling.
What?
Yes, she
What?
said it on microphone. And at this point, you have to be very careful.
Yes.
Because the mistake is done. It wasn't me. It was the person who was giving me the names of the people who were coming to speak. So when she was done, and she was senior, she's a senior clergy member, I had to go back and make a public apology of what I had done. Remember, the mistake was not mine.
Yes.
I had to make a public apology to quell the situation. She was the most senior clergy member in that setting. Yeah. And I did not know her. So I went and did the same mistake, or rather what you've done. And when I got back on stage, when I was called, she finished her speech.
Yes.
I was allowed back.
Yes.
I went back and made a public apology and said, Bishop, I want to apologize publicly for what I've done.
Yes.
I would like to tell you that I did not observe the title that preceded your name.
Yes.
And that's a very big mistake.
Yes.
And Ma'am, I'm very sorry.
Yes.
And I promise that this mistake will not happen again. And I invited her to stand.
Yes.
And I asked people to clap for Bishop. For
Wow.
fantastic speech.
So you did not blame it on anyone
No,
or anything?
you take responsibility. You are the master.
Yeah, you are the master of ceremony.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Allow me, maybe we can stop there.
Yeah.
Sasa, ladies and gentlemen, I know this is a very serious book for everyone that
Yeah.
desires to be in this space and to moderate and to MC.
Yeah.
So make sure we'll be telling you how you can be able to get it and you know, the price tag.
Yeah.
But how was it working with Dr. Fweneke in the production of this book?
It was fantastic, my brother. He is somebody who's very close to me.
Yes.
That's what people need to know. Because again, I've said, he's given me the chance to be the godfather of his wonderful daughters.
Yeah.
So we have walked with him a journey. I think I've done 18, I'm doing 18, 19 this year. He's doing 15 years. So this is a combination of 18 and 15 years put together, different experiences, sometimes together on the groove stage.
Yes, yes.
And he was very, very generous with his information. In fact, the first chapters, you'll really hear him. When you read it, you'll find his tone, firm, affirming his tone and his belief of the art. So he was very good. I remember part of this chapter, which is here, is what the wonderful lady Akode paid for.
Yes.
She paid for an online class, which Ofanike prepared some notes, taught with those notes. She paid for that, like 100 people.
Wow.
Yeah, to just learn emceeing.
Yes.
And Ofanike took guys through the Zoom class. It was during Corona.
Yes, yes, yes.
And when people did the class, when they were done, he sent me the notes, which I think I've done chapter 1 and 2 of this book, which we really appreciate Akode for.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow,
So it was
fantastic.
very
Big
good
up,
working
Akode,
with him.
big
Big up.
up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's good to hear. Any other person you would say, you know, you'd want to appreciate?
Oh, yeah. I know people will be shocked. Among the people that I wrote to was Caroline Mutuku.
Caroline Mutuku?
Yeah, I wrote to her, and I was requesting her to be a referee, or rather forward, to write a forward for us. And she was generous enough to tell us, no, she can't. But she referred me to some other people who I couldn't get in good time because the book timelines were not working. She referred to me to some good people. I appreciate the fact that she actually responded. It was such a humbling moment. I revere her. She's a powerhouse, as you know.
Yes.
And also, I also remember I was introduced to George Dirangu, one of the best performing MCs right now people don't know about. I mean, if you don't follow him, but the people who know him know him. So George Dirangu, I was introduced to him via Shiko, who used to work with him on that BBC. I wrote him a DM. Actually, I wrote him a mail. He responded. I sent him the e-copy. He read it. He did me a forward in a very short time. I also want to acknowledge Robert Burale, who was very on my neck. You know, he's an author, so he's done it before. So he's like, Abel, you need to put it out. Put it out. When are you putting it out? When are you putting it out? He was on my neck. He was like, hey, let us see what is supposed to be done. Do you need a forward? Yes, he did me a forward. Talk to this person. Talk to this person. He pushed me to a few number of people. I also want to thank Sasha Chieng. She's a lady who was like administrating for us. She taught me about Google Drive and what have you. My nephew, Brandon, Joe Flex, Barnes. These are wonderful people who I've worked with. Muge, and there's a team called Flow Team. It's a team of gentlemen who pray together and criticize and punch you hard. Punch you very hard.
Serious
case. Like in a Dan Biquet, some entrepreneurs there, the guys who really pushed for this book to come out. Dan Zai, the DJ, Sharp Brains. These are people that I've worked with, and amazing people. David Ranja is actually downstairs right now. He's the guy who has offered his car always, driving me around, but he kept on pushing together with his family. The Ranjas, they really pushed me. They were the first people just to give in money for this book to come out. And many other people who I may miss to mention, but they're very dear to me. Oh, my mom prayed before we launched. My mom prayed for me over the phone. My small bro, Benjamin Atieno, he took the biggest budget. He's studying his PhD right now. We are losers. So Dr. Atieno, thank you so much. He did a fantastic job. He funded the launch of this book. Kamal, I'm sorry I didn't invite you. So we're doing the review. I think it's going to be bigger, better. You must be the moderator this time.
Hey!
Yes.
I acknowledge. I salute you, sir.
You must be must be the moderator for the next book. And I think there are quite a number of people I'll miss out. Akina Njeri, Mama Ulani and Joki. All the way they are working the States, and they streamlined throughout the entire launch, and they took me through the session. Getty, I remember Jennifer, Faith Heho from Makeup Tower. All these people worked tirelessly. Akina Charity, Name of Holy Bliss. They prayed for the book. They prayed with me. quite a number, man. There were a number of people. Number of people, like Petra, who have always been, oh, my pastor, Pastor George.
Yes.
Pastor George, Pastor George Masharia, Reverend George from City Lighters.
Yes.
Pastor John Olal. There were amazing people who just came through for me.
Yeah.
My good friend Hope Kid showed up after a very
Hope
heavy day.
Kid.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it was a very heavy time.
Yes.
And I realized it's 80 pages, but it had a mass, it had a group of people right behind it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It had a big group of people right behind the
Wow.
book. Yeah.
Salute to everyone
Yeah.
that was involved in the production of this book.
Yeah.
May God bless them.
Thank you.
And keep up the good job.
Thank you, man. I appreciate.
Yes.
I'm in the face of training right now. So if you're an MC out there
Yes.
and you need us to work with you, you need me to work with you, please DM me on MC Abel, Abel the MC on social media platform all across, and we'll be able to converse. I'm open for conversations.
Yes.
The people who have reached out, I believe, have been kind enough to respond
Yes.
and answer them. So I'm happy and I'm very ready to answer questions. And yeah, reach out. Please do reach out so that we can grow together. And invite me so that I can come and learn the latest trends of doing things. Yeah.
Fantastic. So how can one be able to get this book?
This book, we thank God for a fantastic store. It's called Nuria.
Nuria.
Nuria store. It's at Bazaar Plaza,
Yes,
Nairobi.
yes.
But you can check them on their website,
Yes,
www.nuria.co.ke. Thereabout.
Yes.
www.nuriakenya.com,
Yes.
where you can get the book. They deliver anywhere in the country.
Yes.
They deliver anywhere in the country.
Yes.
The store is at Bazaar, 11th floor, store 1105. Store 1105, 11th floor in Bazaar Plaza,
Yes.
right here in Nairobi town.
Yes.
But they deliver, and also you can get the e-version.
Yes.
Once you download the app from Play Store. They're still working on the, what's it called, iStore,
The-
Apple
yes.
Store.
Yes.
But right now they are very strong on Play Store.
On
You can
Play
get
Store.
the e-version. It's
Oh.
cheaper on the e-version. You can
Yes.
read it on your phone. It only goes for 500 on the e-version.
Yes.
But the physical copy goes for 800. But
Yes.
you have to order it from
Yes.
Nuria stores, and they will definitely deliver from
Deliver
wherever
it.
you are. Yeah.
That is pocket friendly.
Very pocket friendly. I think the next book is supposed to be expensive. Just saying. Yeah.
Abel, thank you so much. Maybe I want just to give you a minute to look to this camera.
Yeah.
I believe you have a heart
Okay.
for young people.
Okay.
And, for everyone that desires to grow. Because for you just to sit down and bring your thoughts together and put together a book, there's a generation that will remember you because of this book.
Oh, yes.
So I believe there's something that you have in your heart that you can tell somebody. Maybe somebody's trying to push themselves, either in an industry, either in a platform. They're trying to grow. Yeah, because I believe there are some challenges when you're even putting the book together.
Yeah, very many.
Yeah. So maybe in a minute, we could call it a parting shot or
parting
something.
shot.
But please.
This is the hot
feel
seat
free.
right here.
Yes.
All right. Parting shot for me as Abel. I just like to tell people who are watching or believing in things that they want to do, as long as that which you have in your heart and is supposed to impact a people or change or help people, please go ahead and do it. One thing that we experienced during this book was the word faith it, and I sign it as #faith it. We faithed throughout this season of writing this book because we believed that there were people we needed to help, there are people we needed to impact. And so I want to encourage anyone who's watching this channel or this particular broadcast right now, that whatever you believe in, as long as it brings peace, solves a problem, and it's going to help people, please go ahead and faith it. As a Christian, remember, in the beginning, God. So start with God. In the beginning, God. Again, God bless you. And if you have those dreams and those ideas, keep on faithing it. And again, in the beginning, God. God bless you and keep you as you keep on watching this broadcast.
Amen. Thank you so much, Abel, for your time.
Thank
God
you for
bless
having me. I
Keep
really
up
appreciate
with the
this.
Good job, man.
I will be coming back with the next book and the
Yes.
next book and the next book.
Yes.
We have to die empty.
Yes. You have to die empty, like Miles Monroe
Like
said.
Miles Monroe.
Wow, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we've also got a copy here at the Zoe TV production from, Dr. Foneke and MC Abel.
Yep.
So it's a high time we also grow as we read this book. So asante sana.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
God
Ladies
bless.
and gentlemen, well, that's it. That's our live conversation today with MC Abel, about events, about the art of MCing. We hope that you have learned one or two things. Now go out there and implement. Asanteni sana for tuning in. Write to us. Let us know how you found this conversation. If you are there all the way from the devotion, the Word of God talks to us about that, people might be seeing us as boys, as girls, but God is seeing us as great people, as kings, as queens. So believe in yourself, go out there, push yourself, and I know that God will be able to bless you. Have a fantastic day. We've come to the end of the program. Until tomorrow, same time, same place. God bless you and keep you. Salute. You are watching Zoe TV.